So here we go then, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Kings of Anglia Track the Girls Talk podcast, which is proudly sponsored by John Fowler Solicitors. Big up Mark Kennedy and the team for their continued support. And I'm back, as always, by my co-host and Town Women skipper, Blue Wilson. It's just the two of us for the pod this week. Just to talk about the win against Cheltenham. No, we're playing Cheltenham this weekend. We beat London Bees 5-0 at the AGR Arena. I'm jumping ahead there, Blue, because, of course, we've got Cheltenham this weekend. A double game against them. I've got them this Sunday, the next Sunday. I think I just got Cheltenham ahead. But how are you?
I'm all good, Ross. I'm all good. I was trying to think then of something exciting that's happened in my life since I last spoke to you. But I'm not sure there has been. Actually, I did have a debut on Town TV. So if anyone saw that, I haven't actually watched the feature back. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to stick to podcasting. Not sure the whole, presenting thing is my thing. But my mum has watched it and she said it was okay. So, I hope you enjoyed that if you caught it. But otherwise, I'm all good. How's your week been? I know you're just back from Southampton.
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. And I have watched that. Any Town TV subscribers go out and support Blue and watch that. Back from Southampton. Yeah, the boys are doing pretty well, aren't they? The men's team, a win against Southampton, a double 1-0 win last two games. I got the prediction right, Blue, by the way, for the men's team. I went 1-0. People think there's going to be loads of goals, but I just felt it's going to be just a one goal in it. So I got double the points on our predictions league we do on the main flagship show. So I was happy. But just a bit tired. But I found some time. You've found some time to record another pod because the Track the Girls are flying as well. 5 goals on the weekend, Blue. Let's not muck about. Let's talk about it. Opening thoughts on it. A change in goal. Should we talk about that briefly?
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, obviously, Poppy Soper has suffered a concussion and she wasn't cleared to play in time. So it was a late switch. So I think, bit of insight, I think Laura found out Friday evening. So after training, she'd left for training or whatever. So Laura came in, Laura Hartley, new signing. First game in 19 months after an elbow injury. And to be honest, Ross, I thought she was very, very good. I was impressed. I know Laura back from earlier days at a club that I will not mention on this pod. Very sort of, hopefully we'll get her on, but she's sort of a very calm, collected character and also quite vocal. But you can see that in her distribution. And although she didn't have much to do on Sunday, I was impressed with what I saw. Don't know what you thought.
Yeah, I was as well. And I remember when we did when she signed for the club, when we did her signing pictures. I think I just loved her. She was just so enthusiastic. Even like she's like about pictures. Some players are not that. They don't really like taking pictures or whatever. But she was like, yeah, I'm happy to do whatever. Here, there. just take a picture. Don't mind. And I think she did really well. She spoke really well on her interview with Kieran as well. And she's been a good character around the squad. So for her to go get sort of chucked in the deep end in a way, because I think Joe said on his club interview that she probably wasn't in terms of what's the word, mentally ready for it.
Yeah.
She hasn't played a competitive game in 19 months. She comes in, gets a clean sheet, which is good. As you said, she didn't have much to do, but when she had to be alert and be on the ball and got good footwork, good vocally. I mentioned, in the green room when we watched good old Regan Tuck's behind the scenes video, he sort of zoomed in into the huddle and you saw her being very vocal, and that's a good thing. And have a voice in the dressing room, have a voice in the team, and that's another standout for me, Blue.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, she probably wasn't mentally ready for it. But I almost think, and I said to her after the game, it's almost a good thing that it happened this way, because it didn't give her a chance or an option to not play. Like she had to play, and that was it. So it was almost like you chuck her in the deep end and you have to swim, otherwise you drown. I think she was very relieved and very happy after the game. And hopefully we will look forward to seeing a bit more of her, and obviously the return of Poppy too, trying to balance up. But I don't want to have favourites here. But yeah, no, it's always good to have challenge in that area. Obviously, we've got Nina out on loan, who I think is very busy, which will be a good experience for her. And then 2 solid keepers with us now.
Yeah, it's good to have, two goalkeepers competing against each other. Friendly competition, I know they always say, it's like forwards. It's when we had Tash on about Holly and other players in other positions. You always want that friendly competition. Even in the midfield, we've got players like that. When you come back, you've got that competition as well. So it's good to have that. Definitely with goalies, as you said, only one player.
They're always mates as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's the whole GK union. Like, they're always mates. And I'm like, one of you's just not playing at all, and one of you's always starting. I guess that's how the relationship works. But yeah, goalkeepers are a different breed, I think.
They are indeed. But yeah, shout out to Laura for making a debut and a clean sheet. You always want a good clean sheet on your debut for Town, and just in general when you play games, you want to get a clean sheet. So good to see that. Well, let's talk then, Blue, about that game as a whole. And we came out flying, didn't we? 2 goals in the opening 30 minutes. Tash with the first goal. And one thing I think we've improved on this year from last year, because we created chances lots last year, but I felt we weren't maybe alert as much as we are this year. Pouncing on goalkeeper, because the Bees keeper, she did parry a lot of the shots, didn't she? And our players were there ready to alert, and that's what happened with Tash and Pescott with their goals.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't always have to be beautiful, crafted goals with like a 15-pass string beforehand. Sometimes those ones where you've reacted quickly and just put it in the back of the net are just as good. But I agree with that. We were alert, especially in the first half. And what was it, 13 minutes? We went 2-0 up. But obviously Pescott's on fire. Tash is on fire. I'm sure we'll mention Ruby Doe later because I want to have a bit of discussion about her performance. We've obviously got Lena come in, who's got a spark about her. So the sort of front attacking players they're sort of really lighting it up. And I think it's important at the start of the season for players like that to get on a bit of a run. And I know we joked about Tash's 200 appearance and 150 goals or whatever, but I mean, she keeps going like she is. I wouldn't put it past her. But yeah, it's good to see, and also it comes from the back, and you need to have stability to have that alertness and press high and jump on those mistakes. Because I think it's very easy for, if you're just watching a game of football, to say, oh well, why aren't the front line pressing? Well, if the front line do press and then the midfield don't back that up, and then the back line don't back that up, it very quickly gaps appear. So then there's no sort of real point to high pressing. I know the men's team are very good at that too. So as a team, as a collective, it's good to see we've all bought into that under sort of Joe's instructions and our feedback. And I mean, against London Bees in the first half, it worked pretty well.
Yeah, it did. And I don't want to single out a player, but we've got to mention Pescott because she's won Player of the Month for Aston Legal.
Yes.
But she is just on fire. She was unstoppable. Because I'm luckily in the first half, I'm basically situated where I could just see her run at me. There's so many times where I just see her and just like, she's going to beat that player. And we spoke about the hashtag game where she got doubled up, but she still was able to get round players. She's just on the ball. She's just unbelievable. And, she's got a goal in this game, as you said, and she has just been unstoppable this season so far.
Yeah, I think what it is, well, to be fair, if you asked anyone in our squad right now, I think they'd all say that Pescott is currently a level above. And that's no disrespect to anyone in the squad, because there are some unbelievable players there. But I think since Pescott's come back from the ACL injury, she's obviously bulked up, got stronger, which was an area of her game she didn't have before. So she had all the twists and turns and ball manipulation, whatever. Now she's got this strength and power, and it's just created a monster. So you just can't get the ball off Pescott. And even if you do, she's there trying to bite it back, backed up by Summer or whoever's playing there. And it's, yeah, I mean, we say on the bench every time, we're like, the fullbacks that must come up against Pescott must think, oh, my hamstring's a bit sore, I might have to go down here, a little sub off, because it's a long day. It's a really long day. But yeah, really impressive how she's performed so far and helped Tash, and also the other front players helping each other. But I really hope it continues, because it's a joy to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, Tash at the double with I would say a trademark Tash header, really, because she always does that, don't she? She sort of glances over and then boom. So that was good to see as well.
Yeah, of course it is. It is like a trademark Tash header, I'd say. That'd be interesting. Her stats in terms of headed goals, left foot, right foot goals. I'd be interested in that. But I'm sure that'll be some sort of graphic once she does hit a big milestone.
Although, I don't know. I think there's probably, sadly, early stages at the club,
that's true.
there was probably not any footage back then, sadly. So we could just make it up, maybe. We could just make up.
I'm sure Kieran can remember. Kieran can remember games from like 5 years ago, I'm sure.
Maybe. Yeah. Once again, I don't
maybe
think
I'm asking for too much.
Maybe, but it would be interesting. Definitely in the last couple of years where there's been loads of footage and there's a lot of reports on it. But yeah, the good thing is she's a striker that can score any sort of goals. It's not like you've got a poacher's striker, which is nothing wrong with that. If that's you, that's fine. But Tash can score, and she just scored some absolute well. The MK Dons goal was fantastic. She scored that one goal in the FA Cup a few years back. On the halfway line. Remember that goal?
Mm-hmm.
Against Chichester, I think it was.
Yes. Oh, what a goal!
Yeah, it was. It was incredible. So she's can score any goals, which is good. And then of course we made it 4-0 by Lena scoring her, I think, third goal for the club. Probably have I got that right? I think it's third goal for the club. And she made it, of course, 4. And once again, she was alert and she scored.
Yeah, I sensed a bit that she was frustrated with her performance a little bit, which just shows you the levels that she wants to get to. Because, again, an extremely sharp young player who's hungry for minutes on loan from Spurs. So once again, excited for more to come. I think as she's around the girls more and more and plays more and more games under Joe's sort of style, we can only expect better things. And already the goals are looking good. So another exciting prospect and a good pickup.
Yeah, definitely. And that was, I was like thinking, oh god, this could be a cricket score maybe. And
yes.
I think there was one steward said to me, he came over to me and went, the scoreboard doesn't go up to 10, it goes only up to 9. So I think because we have seen, we have scored 10 more goals at the AJ Arena before with the new scoreboard. But fair play to London Bees. They tried their hardest, didn't they, in terms of defending. I think they sort of eventually went, okay, we need to make sure we defend well against that player, and I think fair play to them. They did their best in terms of defending. The goalkeeper had to make a few saves as well. Maybe that's when we should have been maybe more clinical in the second half, because that would have segued to the second half, Blue, because we're still making chances, still taking shots, but just couldn't find that killer fifth goal before we did eventually get it, of course.
No, it was tricky. So I think sometimes there is after half time a bit of a slump, especially when you've had the first half where we've been really at it. But I think we were maybe a little bit frustrated by that. But then again, you're comfortable within the game. You're trying to play good patterns and not force things. It's very easy to start forcing things. And it was one of those where, we should have probably been more clinical in terms of chance creation. I can remember a few good ones, but perhaps a bit more. Obviously, Pescott got subbed off, and then other changes happened too, which can affect the sort of rhythm. But yeah, we'd like a few more goals, especially as we know how important goal difference is later in the season. But I think it's a performance we can be content with going into sort of 2 games against Cheltenham.
Yeah, definitely. And do you know what? I hate to bring this up, and she's going to hate me for doing this, and I'll try my best not to do it as much this season. When we went 4-0 up, I thought, this could be a day where Kyra scores.
I know.
Because we're scoring, definitely in the box. You think, maybe she does a late run, dart in the box, and then boom. But I don't want to put pressure on her because we
only mention it every pod. It's no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure, Kyra. But actually, once again, the midfield, I think Bonnie and Kyra, once again, they ran the show, didn't they? Starting, chances, starting, opportunities, and that's once again that just shows that's our game plan. Starting from the back, but also that midfield, they boss that, don't they?
Yeah, for sure. They're just consistent, aren't they? Bonnie, actually Kyra, to be fair, she's normally sort of the breakup play, You can't get it off her, and she'll keep it going. Bonnie probably gets on it a little bit more, less touches, spreading the play. But the intent in Kyra's movement and also communication on Sunday, something I really picked up on. She was almost demanding it of players, so keen to get on it. And in games like that, the midfield can be quite fun because if you are on it like that, and I think Bonnie and Kyra as a pair work really well together in terms of complementing each other. But it can become a really fun game because you're always in possession, so you're always on the ball, which is a lot easier than being out of possession. Just being careful of transition. But I want to add Ruby Doe into the conversation, sort of playing just in front of them. What are your thoughts on her so far, or the minutes you've seen her?
Yeah, because she made her debut, of course, away at Cardiff. And I think, that was just a nice sort of game to settle in. She's getting to know her new teammates, and I think that must have been her first ever senior appearance because, of course, she was on fire for the Arsenal under-21, scoring goals for fun for them. But to step up against, a Cardiff team who are a solid team in this division, and I think she did sort of grow into that game. I thought she did okay. Then she played, of course, #, and then she played at MK. But I think this was the day where I think she really finally arrived, if you know what I mean, where I just felt she was here, there, everywhere. Scored her first goal for the club, which is good to see. But yeah, you just see, sometimes you just look at players and go, they're just good, aren't they?
Yeah.
And she just, good, for her to really, I think this is her first home game, like in terms.
I think it must be, yeah. Must be.
So first time for her to play in front of the home crowd. So, and she made sure they didn't forget about her.
No, she did. I think there's something about her where, because she's come from such a great youth team that is Arsenal, and sort of growing up, you'd always know Arsenal were one of the top clubs. You sort of expect her to be very good on the ball, but off the ball, I don't know why, but you just don't have expectations as high. But her off the ball, she's tenacious, Ross.
Yeah.
Tenacious is the word I'm going to use, because she's just after the ball all the time, which is the bit that I've sort of recognised the most. And I thought her performance on Sunday was very good. So I'm excited to watch her play more. But obviously we've got a player coming back who made her return on Sunday, which I was very happy to see after spending some time in the gym with her. Lucy O'Brien.
Yes, Lucio. I think I don't know if I mentioned on the pod or not. I think I did last week because we were back at the Lucio O'Brien derby with Milton Keynes, and I think I said to her, I wish you were playing, and went, me too. Hopefully I'm back soon. And yeah, she was on the bench for this game, and she came on. A great, fans would just love to seeing her back. Kieran was, full welly on the microphone, and good reception for her to make her return. And she got an assist, could have scored herself. And she's another player. You watch and just go, she's got something in this girl. She's a classy player, isn't she?
She very much is. And when she is on it, there's things she can do, like in terms of long range shots, sort of windy runs, all through the pitch that no one else really can do in our team. So I'm looking forward to seeing her sort of progress and play a few more minutes, and hopefully return from this injury without any niggles. But yeah, she's worked really hard in the gym. Definitely hasn't been easy. But in terms of how she has been mentally, I feel like her outlook has changed, and the way she's dealing with things is a lot better and matured, which I think is only going to help her game. So I've been really impressed with her around the gym and whatever. So looking forward to O'Brien being back. She is such a great girl.
Yeah, and she's of course another player who can take penalties. So if Bonnie and Lucio can fight over that, and of course she's got the new shirt as well. She's new number 11.
Yes.
Good to see. I just want to do a fact check, Blue, because I know Kieran and other people are probably shouting at me. Poppy has made a home appearance before that one. She came off the bench against Plymouth, but of course that was a game where we were already 7-0 up anyway. So
You mean Ruby?
Yeah, sorry, Ruby.
Yes. Okay.
It's been a long day, right? But I just want to make sure to fact check that just quickly now. Ruby did play, but this was really her homecoming in terms of starting from the off and playing, pretty much most of the game and getting assist and playing really well. So, shout out to Ruby, but shout out especially, of course, to Lucio, and I'm sure she'll continue to get appearances. I think she's going to get to 50 appearances, hopefully, by the end of the year, maybe. So that's good to see as well. Any other bit of business then, Blue? Of course, we always want to mention it because the crowd is incredible. 571 fans in attendance. I think that's the second, maybe actually the third home game, I think. It's basically, the crowd's been great, all right? And I don't think the stats on my top of my head. I should have written this down. I'm sorry. You guys.
No, I think from the graphic, we're going for a hat trick of over 500s, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, we've had a cup game, we had a Plymouth game. I think in the league.
In the league, okay.
The Billy Ricker game is different. It's cup game, but like in terms of a hat trick this weekend, a hat trick of 500 plus. But yeah,
that would be amazing. If we can get that going. So if you are thinking about it, 2 p.m. on a Sunday, you've got nothing else on. Delay your roast. Come down to the AGL. Watch us hopefully put in a good performance against Cheltenham, and then go eat your roast.
Yeah. Or have an early roast. I won't say early, but like midday roast isn't too bad. Although actually, we need to plug. Felix, though, burgers down there are decent. The chips are down there are decent. So that you got Sweet Shop. So, but it's just great to see it though, Blue. And I think Joe mentioned it on his interview with Kieran. Like when you have that extra, just even extra 20, 30 fans, you just feel it's really the atmosphere starts because you've got the drum now. You've got other people. You got families there, young and old. And it's just great to see. And I think that hopefully that continue to grow. And it just feels. You've just got that community there, and it's at the end of the game, Blue. I capture some pictures. I just love just seeing players taking selfies, signing autographs. I think there was even one girl crying.
There was. So she was after Lena's signature, I think, and a photo of her. But I think kids are now bringing what's the show called? Jamie Johnson, which was the show that Lena was in, books to the AGL so that Lena can sign it and stuff like that. So yeah, true Lena fans. But I've definitely noticed there's more younger kids there for sure. Both young girls and boys sort of wanting signatures, autographs. And I don't know whether that's as a response from the World Cup in the summer. But yeah, it's great to see. As I walked in on Sunday, there was a few girls team playing on the pitch as you walked in, which was great to see as well. But yeah, big up to the parents as well, because they're not getting there on their own. So thank you very much, and continue to bring them because we love to see it. It inspires us whilst we're inspiring them. So continue, please, and let's aim for 500 on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think a lot of teams, they play, early in the morning, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock kickoffs. And then, they went, I want to go and watch the women's team play. And, they come down all in their group, and it's just good. And I'm sure their parents go, all right, we treat you to the Sweet Shop as well. So, that's another little bonus for the players. You scored a goal today. Okay, let's go to the Sweet Shop and let's go and watch the game. So, as Blue said, keep up the support. 2 p.m. kickoff at the AJ Arena. And of course, we've got 2 back-to-back home games now, Blue, as well. Of course, this is the third, talking about, of course, the London Bees game. But any other business from the game? Any other talking points you want to mention? Anything that comes up? Of course, once again, it was fearing to really rain. Once again, I actually braved it. I actually stayed in my spot pitch side, but there was a moment where I was like, I may have to get up here. But I went, no, you know what? It's not too bad. And I was actually happy I stayed because... it's just I don't want to, go in and then it stops and I'm like, I'll go back out now. So thankfully it didn't rain too badly. But I was on sprinkler duty before the game.
Yes, we need to mention that.
Yeah, because basically Phoebe, first team coach, she sort of because the players must have been in a tunnel, and then I think she realised the sprinklers are still out, and she went to me and went, "You need to get rid of the sprinklers." And of course, at first I thought, I don't think she was asking me. I think she just mentioned it, and I was like, "Actually, is she asking me?" And I was like, "No one else is going." And I went, "Come on, then, I can do it." But they're actually very heavy, and I have to apologise. I don't know if this fan does listen to the podcast or not. If you do, I need to apologise to you. Basically, when I put the sprinkler down, it then went on him. So I apologise to that man. I just because they're off, but I think they may just had
as
that.
you jolted the hose,
It just went on his So, but he was fine with it. He wasn't like angry or anything. But I just want to apologise to that man. So, but yeah, they're heavy though. They're heavier than I thought. And there's a lot of but
yeah. So you'll be getting out of that next time. I didn't have to do it this time actually. I did manage to get out of that. But my legs were really sore, sore. So I was quite happy with that because I was struggling to move. So yeah, sorry about that, Ross. I didn't help you out. Maybe next week.
Well, Felix, they fair to Chris, who is the secretary. He's basically Felix Stowe's Don. Basically, he's the man who does a lot of things. He's actually asked if there's any volunteers out there who wants to help out with selling programs, just sort of on a day-to-day basis, maybe even help with the sprinklers. Then there's a shout out to you guys. If you want to get down and help and volunteer, and come and watch the game of football as well. That's part and parcel of it all. So that's it. I think that's it though from the game. As I said, 5 goals, a clean sheet. Scoring goals all over the park as well. It's good that we're not just relying on, say, Tash. We've also got, Lena, who's, as I said, scored 3 goals already this season. Pest scoring her goals. Now Ruby with a goal. It's just good that it's been sort of spread about. Now Lucy O'Brien's back. Maybe she'll score as well. So, it's just good that we're, scoring all the way around the pitch.
Yeah, for sure. It means that we're not relying on one player. So we're not relying on just Tash scoring them. And there's confidence all round. Which is good to see. I know Bonnie's been scoring quite a few recently and towards the back end of last season. So I'd like to see her return to scoring form. Maybe a few penalties, wouldn't mind that. But yeah, no, I think that's it. There was one point actually insight after the game, which I am going to mention, but I went to shake one of the London Bees coach's hand. Said, good luck for the rest of the season. He said something that I can't say on the pod, and then said, we're going to need more than that. So, yeah. But I do wish them the best of luck. And I think once they come together, and I think there may have been a few changes since their squad last season, but they can be a difficult team to beat. And hopefully once they get momentum, they do become a trickier team to beat, and no one likes to be beaten by that much every weekend. So I do wish them the best of luck.
Yeah, I think we always say that, don't we? With, teams, if we beat them heavily, you always go, wish them luck, and hopefully, they improve throughout the season. Because I know we want to be competitive, but also want to bring some sportsmanship to it as well.
Yes.
So all the best to London Bees for the rest of the season, and of course we go to their place next year. I'm sure. I don't know the date on top of my head. Sorry about that, folks. I have to improve my stats here. It needs to be on top of my head, but there's a lot of things you have to think of during the day, and that stat is not in my head right now. But there we go. Well, Blue, we're not going to be recording a pod next week, but we are going to talk about Cheltenham Town, because we've got them twice. So we're going to get used to them for the next 2 weeks. I do feel sorry for them in a way, because I got to travel to Suffolk twice in 2 weeks. Although we don't have to do it, so it's like, shame. But it's a team that. We had 2 different games against them last year, didn't we? When we went to their place before Christmas, before the Christmas break, which was a very cold, wet day down in Cheltenham. We won us 2-1. I think it was 2-1 down at their place, and then they came to AGL Arena, which was the sort of the second to last game, where we won 8-0. Of course, where we were trying to get that goal difference up, and we thrashed them basically. But this season so far, Blue, this is their second season in this division. Of course, they got promoted last year. The 8th in the table. Bit of a mixed bag start. 2 wins, 1 draw and 2 defeats. They won 4-3 on the weekend at home at MK. Thoughts on this one? Yeah, Cheltenham, they're an interesting team. They've got a player that I always mention still. I think she scored on the weekend, Henna Butcher. She make it told one day, like, do you know you get mentioned on Ipswich Town Women's podcast?
There's this guy called Ross. He always mentions you. No one's really sure why.
Yeah, I think it's from her Kingsham days, because of course she scored, didn't she?
Yes, I remember now.
And then I remember she signed for Cheltenham last season. I went, "Oh yeah, Blue, stop playing." So yeah, there we go.
So we'll watch out for her. But it's one of those teams, isn't it, where I think I go into it feeling quite uncertain about what sort of team is going to show up. And the first sort of 15 minutes is really about seeing what we're up against. I'm sure Joe and the girls will have more of an idea after watching some footage of them this season. Obviously, the games last season, but I think I know a few changes to the squad. I think there's one player who's definitely gone to Oxford. But yeah, it'll be interesting, and I kind of like the games where you're not really sure what team is going to turn up. And obviously, we do have an advantage being at home on both of those games, which I am very thankful for. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I feel bad there when I said shame, but because it does take out of players, staff, everyone involved, even fans coming. It's a lot of travelling. Definitely Cheltenham. It's a long way to go, but of course we'll have to go to their place. Later in the season. But yeah, 2 back-to-back trips. It's like, whoa, that's a long trip for them. I'm just looking at their results there, Blue. There's a lot of goals in their games. So they lost the opening game of the season against Portsmouth. It was a 5-0 win for Pompey. Then they beat London Bees 3-2. And they drew 2-2 against Cardiff, and they lost at Plymouth 3-2. And of course, I said they beat MK Dons 4-3 on the weekend. So
wow,
goals all over the place.
Yeah, that is suggesting they score a lot of goals, but also defence leaks a few. Yeah. So it could be a great game. All the more reason for you to come on Sunday, 2 p.m. AGL Arena. Plug in that again.
Yeah, definitely good plug. So, yeah, and of course, there's season tickets you can get. I think you can still get them, and then of course you can buy on the gate as well. And make sure to buy the programme. It's always nice to plug that. I don't know who will be the cover star this week. I think it was Lena last week, so I'm sure that was popular in terms of, her fans getting that and making sure they sign her, probably sign her face. I want it there. So yeah, where's the most random thing you've had to sign so far in your career? I know there's hands or
arm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's difficult. There's been, on the signing day, I'm not sure I mentioned this on the pod. Maybe I have, but it was a long time ago, so hopefully you've forgotten, and it's not just me repeating myself. If not, just skip forward 30 seconds.
I don't think you have, though. I can't remember.
No, so we had a signing session when it was like the main club open day. I think it was about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And we all sat in a long row in a queue of people. And I was kind of expecting, I hadn't done one before, so I was kind of expecting I'd sign a few autographs. It was like an hour and a half, 2 hours of constant autographs. By the end, I had a headache. I was like, someone I knew was sort of at the end of the line. And they were like, "Are you right, Blue?" I'm like, this is difficult, Yeah. This is really difficult. There was a few interesting things there. There's some rucksacks. There were some really old programs, like really, really old. I'm not sure of the year. Signed them, lots of shirts. And that was the time where I accepted that the orange away shirt is actually quite nice, because I saw quite a few there. So it converted me. But yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted, I don't think, in that sense. I felt for the men's players because it drains you. It's constant. But obviously great to see that many people. And all the girls love signing autographs and taking photos after the game. I think there was a lot on Sunday, but we love it. So if you come along and you bring your kids, or you're a kid yourself, or you're an adult and you want to photograph or autograph, we're always happy to do so.
Definitely. There's one funny thing that some players, or some of the fans will ask, some of the young girls will ask, and can I have your shin pads? Can I have your gloves?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's like, I need them.
That's the thing. None of it. Well, a couple of us are sponsored, but the rest of us aren't sponsored. So we're like, well, we'd love to, but we have to pay for these things, and we're not on massive money.
Yes, and we need these for next week.
We don't get new shirts every week. We don't get new shirts every week.
Yeah, the shirts, and then also that Laura, she's a goalie, so she needs those gloves. I'm sure she'd maybe have other spares potentially.
You best ask at the end of the season. That's when you're going to get it. But I think EK did give away her away shirt maybe last season on Sunday to a fan, which was nice to see.
Yeah, definitely. But keep it up, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to see, and keep the atmosphere going for these 2 games. We've got Cheltenham in the league this weekend, and then next Sunday after that, we have Cheltenham in the Cup in the first round of the Fornal Cup, aka the League Cup. We shall see if there'll be any rotation, if there'll be how we get on that and progress, and see how we do. But Blue, it's been another good podcast. Any other business from yourself? Anything else you want to mention? Another week, of course, of training. How's everything with you?
Yeah, knee's good. Sort of ramping up. I can do most sort of strength stuff. Staying away from impact for now, but knee feels great. And that hasn't really changed, so it's good. It's just about building up strength now and continuing that. So yeah, when I have any more updates, the pod will be first to know.
Exclusives,
if I can keep it from Kieran.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And then Kieran puts it out there, boom, and then because it was it Tash who gave us the exclusive about Lucy O'Brien back on, in
I
contact.
think she did, yeah.
So there we go. This is where it's all about. Track the Girls Talk is where you get the exclusives, and it's been another great show. I hope you've enjoyed, ladies and gentlemen. And so we won't be back next week, but we're back after that to talk about the 2 Cheltenham games. Hopefully both wins. And Blue, as always, take it away. Thanks for joining me. Bye for me.
Yes, thank you, Ross. Although it's nice to have guests, I do quite like it when we're just a jury. It's quite, I like it. But yeah, thanks again for listening. Don't miss us too much next week. You can come along on Sunday. Go on, bring everyone you know along. Let's make it a really big attendance. Going for over 500, but a 6 would look really nice. So yeah, thanks once again. We really, really appreciate your support. It's not the same without you. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time after the 2 Cheltenham games.